Listen to Us Now is a podcast about the unheard stories of our youth, the stories and the voices who've been silenced. But we are the future leaders in the world. So listen to us now.
I'm Anastasia Consuelo.
And I'm Milo Gomez.
And we are the hosts of Listen to Us Now.
Welcome back.
Thank you all for tuning into this episode.
In this episode, we will be sitting down with someone as they tell their story. Remember, because of finances, we have been recording through Skype, and because of that, the audio may get distorted at some point, so please be patient with us. A lot of these issues are out of our control.
But if you have any suggestions of other ways we can record, let us know. Any feedback is extremely helpful.
Our podcast is open to every young voice in the Bakersfield area, and if you want to share your story through this podcast, fill out the Google form which is linked in the description of this video, or email us.
This person has chosen to stay anonymous, and we will completely respect that for our guests. But enough of us. Onto their story.
Trigger warning. This episode deals with a lot of hard topics such as child abuse, molestation, trauma, medication, and nausea. If any of these could affect you in any way, please turn the video off now and take care of yourself. Thank you.
My mom got remarried to my stepfather when I was 13 years old in the United States. My stepfather started to show me pornographic videos, and he started to give me instructions on how to perform sexual activities. And I did that. After 1 year, I started to realize there's something wrong, and I need to stand up and tell him no, I cannot take part in any sexual activities. And I did that, but he got really angry and mad at me because of me saying him that, and he started to mentally torture me. By mentally torture, I mean he would tell my mom, oh, she's not allowed to attend after school tutoring or take part in any activities that were organized by the school. And as we were dependent on my stepfather, my mom and me both had to follow his instructions. But my mom did not knew that he was molesting me. Later on, I started feeling chronic nausea. I went to a lot of doctors. I did endoscopy, blood tests, whatnot. I was taking medication for nausea. I was going to emergency when my nausea was really, really severe, and they used to give me injection for nausea. But we couldn't find out what was actually causing my nausea. So at that time, my stepfather was threatening me that if I tell my mom about how he was sexually molesting me, he's going to kill me and my mom both. Additionally, he also told me that he is really upset and God will never forgive me because I said yes to him in the very start, and then I went on saying no, and he was like, you have no right to do that. And then after several months, so my nausea basically, I was dealing with nausea for 2 years, and it was really, really chronic. But then last May, my nausea was really, really worse, and I went to ER and they gave me an injection. I also took my nausea tablet, but it wasn't working at all. So that was the day I decided to tell my mom about everything that my stepdad was doing with me. So I told her the entire story about how he sexually molested me, and then my mom took me to the police station. It was around nighttime, and then we went to the police station. They called me inside, and then they made me call my stepfather. As he's a truck driver, so at that time he was in Chicago. They made me call him and tell him stuff oh, I'm excited for you to come back, and I'm ready to take part in any sexual activity with you. So basically, to make him confess about stuff, we had to lie to him. So I had to say all this stuff just to make him feel and then he started saying everything, and I was oh, I really enjoyed that part that we did, I was And like, yeah, at that time we like started explaining everything. He was like, oh yeah, like we had oral sex and whatnot, and you were the one who started like saying no to me, and like it's all your fault. And that very conversation got recorded in the police station. And then the very next day, when my stepfather returned from Chicago, he got arrested from the police. And then that very next moment, my nausea just disappeared, and I was completely fine. So it wasn't a health issue at all. So I wanted to like let everyone know that even when we are going through a trauma, we can face like extreme chronic nausea or even body aches or anything on those lines. So
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate you coming onto the podcast.
Thank you, and thank you all for listening.
The person who shared the story with us has asked to stay completely anonymous, so we respect that.
If you want more information on this podcast or how you can share your story, check out our IGTV on Instagram.
Our Instagram and TikTok are at Listen to Us Now. But other than that, I am Marlo Gomez.
And I am Anastasia Consuelo, and this has been Listen to Us Now.